What if the real reason your erection feels weak the moment you wake up has nothing to do with desire, age, or hormones, but with the very first biological reaction your body triggers as soon as your eyes open? Most men over 60 never realize that the penis is supposed to respond in the first minutes of the morning, and when it doesn't, it means one thing: blood is not reaching the erectile chambers fast enough. An erection is not controlled by your mind. It is controlled by circulation. The moment you wake up, your body leaves its low-pressure nighttime mode and begins increasing blood flow. But after 60, this transition becomes slower. The vessels that should open quickly stay tight. The smooth muscle inside the penis remains stiff. And the blood that should surge into the corpora cavernosa arrives too late, or doesn't arrive at all. That is why the penis stays soft even when everything else seems normal. Here is the part most men never hear from their doctors: the body has a morning activation window. In this short period, your system is extremely sensitive to any signal that improves circulation. And what you chew on an empty stomach during this window can determine how fast your penile blood vessels open. When you consume a natural compound immediately upon waking, your bloodstream absorbs it with almost no delay. There is no food competing for digestion, no slowing of absorption, no interference. The compound travels directly into circulation and reaches the pelvic vessels at the exact moment they are trying to open. This creates a powerful advantage: your body receives the chemical signal it needs at the precise second when the erection mechanism is most responsive. Imagine the erectile chambers as small pockets waiting for pressure. If the vessels open even slightly sooner, the pressure rises, blood enters with more force, and the penis begins to lift, not minutes later, but almost immediately. Before we continue, make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you do not miss the next steps. And comment the word morning grease below if you want your erections to react faster when the day begins, or trying if you will test this method tomorrow morning. If your penis takes too long to react in the morning, the reason is almost always the same: your circulation starts the day slower than it should. When you open your eyes, your heart rate begins to rise, your breathing deepens, and your vessels are supposed to widen to distribute blood quickly. But after 60, the vessels in the pelvic region are the last to respond. They stay narrowed, cold, and resistant just when you need them to open. This is why the first minutes after waking are so important. Your body is transitioning from night mode to day mode, and this transition determines whether blood reaches the erectile chambers with enough pressure to create firmness. If the vessels delay opening, the penis delays reacting. It is not a matter of desire. It is a matter of biology. When you chew a natural compound on an empty stomach, it enters your bloodstream at exactly the right moment to influence this transition. The digestive system absorbs the nutrients quickly because nothing else is competing for breakdown. As the compound enters circulation, it interacts with the endothelial cells that line your blood vessels. These cells control whether the vessels stay tight or relax. The ingredient you take activates nitric oxide pathways, which act like an internal signal telling the vessels to soften. As soon as they soften, blood begins to move with greater force. And because this happens right when your body is naturally increasing circulation, the effect becomes amplified. Even a small improvement in vessel flexibility can completely change how the penis reacts. This is why some men feel the first signs of warmth or fullness within minutes of waking after using the right ingredient. The vessels finally open at the correct time, and the erectile chambers receive the blood they have been missing. If this explanation helped you understand why those first minutes of the morning matter so much, take a moment to like this video. It helps me bring more clear, science-based guidance to men who need it. To understand why eating something immediately upon waking can influence your erection within minutes, you need to look at how the body absorbs nutrients when the stomach is completely empty. Most men don't realize that the digestive system behaves differently in the morning. During the night, your metabolism slows down, your stomach empties, and your intestines prepare for rapid absorption as soon as food arrives. This is why the first substance you consume has a direct, powerful impact on your bloodstream. When the morning ingredient reaches your mouth, digestion begins almost instantly. Enzymes in your saliva break down parts of it before it even reaches your stomach. Once swallowed, the compound enters an environment with no competing nutrients. This speeds up absorption dramatically. What you eat goes straight into your bloodstream faster than at any other moment of the day. But the real advantage is what happens next. As the nutrient travels through your arteries, it begins interacting with the endothelial cells, the control center of your blood vessels. These cells determine whether vessels remain tight or expand. For men over 60, they tend to stay in a semi-constricted state, making it difficult for blood to reach the penis with enough pressure. The compound you chew acts as a biochemical trigger. It stimulates the release of nitric oxide, which softens the vessel walls and encourages them to open. This effect can begin within minutes because the bloodstream is clean, circulation is accelerating naturally, and the pelvic region is highly sensitive at this time of day. As the vessels open, the increase in blood flow begins to warm the penile tissue from the inside. Warmth is the first sign that the erectile chambers are preparing to expand. Shortly after warmth comes heaviness, a clear indication that the chambers are receiving pressure. These sensations appear quickly not because the ingredient is magical, but because your body is biologically primed to respond after waking. This is the advantage of using the morning window correctly. Your bloodstream becomes the fastest route to reactivating your erection. To understand how this natural ingredient can strengthen the circulation to your penis so quickly, you need to focus on what it does to the inner machinery of your blood vessels. Inside every artery and vein, including the ones that supply the penis, there is a thin layer of cells called the endothelium. These cells act like a biological switchboard. When they function well, vessels widen easily and allow blood to pass with force. When they weaken, vessels stay narrow and resist the pressure your erection depends on. After the age of 60, the endothelium becomes less responsive. It releases less nitric oxide, the molecule responsible for relaxing the vessel walls. Think of nitric oxide as the green light for blood flow. Without it, the vessel stays in a constant yellow or red light, never opening enough, never allowing enough pressure to reach the erectile chambers. This is why your penis takes longer to respond or fails to respond altogether. The ingredient you chew upon waking contains compounds that directly stimulate these endothelial cells. As soon as the compounds enter your bloodstream, they activate pathways that increase nitric oxide production. This doesn't force your vessels open, it restores their natural ability to open on command. And because the pelvic region is one of the most sensitive areas to nitric oxide, the penis becomes one of the first places to feel the effect. What makes this especially effective in older men is timing. When the ingredient reaches your bloodstream right as your body transitions out of sleep, the vessels are already trying to adjust. They want to open, but they lack the chemical signal. The ingredient provides that signal at the perfect moment, helping your vessels relax much faster than they would on their own. As the vessels soften, blood begins to move more freely. The temperature of the penis increases. The tissues inside the shaft become more elastic. And for the first time in a long time, the erectile chambers receive the early morning rush they need to expand properly. This is not stimulation. This is restoration, putting your vascular system back into the mode it is supposed to operate in. To understand what happens inside your penis when blood finally reaches it with enough force, imagine the erectile chambers as two elastic pockets that sit deep within the shaft. These pockets, called the corpora cavernosa, are completely dependent on pressure. They do not contract on their own, and they do not push blood forward. They simply expand when the bloodstream delivers the right amount of force. The stronger the flow, the stronger the erection. In younger men, these chambers expand almost instantly because the tissue is flexible and the vessels supplying them respond quickly. But after 60, the internal lining of the chambers becomes stiffer. The space inside them narrows, and they require more pressure to open. This is why a slow morning circulation can leave the penis soft even when the desire is there. The blood arrives too gradually, and the chambers do not receive the signal to expand. When you chew the right ingredient upon waking, you change this entire equation. As the nutrient enters your bloodstream and stimulates nitric oxide release, the vessels feeding the corpora cavernosa begin to widen. This widening sends a faster, stronger wave of blood toward the base of the penis. And this is the moment the chambers start reacting. The first sign is heat. Not warmth on the skin, but a deeper internal heat that comes from increased blood volume. Then comes fullness, a sensation of weight that many men haven't felt in years. This heaviness is blood pushing against the chamber walls. As the pressure rises, the walls expand, not slowly, but in a rhythm that becomes stronger with each second. When the chambers expand enough, they compress the veins that normally drain the area. This trapping mechanism is what transforms increased flow into true firmness. The blood can enter, but it cannot leave easily. The pressure builds, the shaft strengthens, and the erection becomes stable. Older men often notice that once the cycle restarts, it feels almost like the body remembers how to respond. And it does, because erections are not created in the mind. They are created in the chambers, and pressure is their language. One of the most overlooked advantages of chewing a natural ingredient first thing in the morning is how quickly it synchronizes with your body's natural increase in circulation. When you wake up, your cardiovascular system does not start at full speed. It begins slowly, gradually increasing pressure as your breathing deepens and your heart rate rises. This early rise in circulation is predictable, and it creates the perfect opportunity to influence where the blood goes, especially to the pelvic region. For men over 60, the vessels that supply the penis often fail to respond to this natural rise. They remain rigid, reluctant to open, and slow to allow blood in. The result is a penis that feels disconnected from the rest of the body, as if the signal that morning has begun never reaches it. But when the right nutrient is already in your bloodstream at this moment, it changes the entire response pattern. The compound interacts with the vascular system precisely when it is trying to accelerate. Instead of forcing the vessels to open, it guides them. It reduces tension in the smooth muscle, encourages nitric oxide release, and helps the arteries in the pelvic region match the speed of the rest of your circulation. Suddenly, the penis is no longer the last place to receive blood. It becomes one of the first. This is why some men feel an internal shift very quickly, a sense of energy, warmth, or subtle pulsing low in the abdomen and along the base of the penis. These sensations are not psychological. They are evidence that the vessels have synchronized with your body's natural morning increase in pressure. When the pelvic vessels keep up with the rest of the circulatory system, erections stop being delayed and start becoming automatic. This synchronization is the key difference between a weak morning response and a strong, consistent one. You aren't adding pressure artificially. You're aligning your erection mechanism with your body's natural rhythm, and once aligned, it begins working again with surprising speed. Once your blood vessels begin responding on time and the erectile chambers regain their ability to expand, another crucial shift happens, one that most men don't expect. The nerves responsible for triggering your erection begin to reawaken. These pelvic nerves act like switches. When they detect rising blood flow, warmth, or pressure in the base of the penis, they fire an automatic signal that amplifies the erection process. It's a built-in reflex. And for many men over 60, this reflex has been dormant simply because it hasn't been activated correctly for years. As circulation improves, these nerves receive more oxygen and more stimulation. They start sending quicker, stronger messages to the erectile tissue. Instead of waiting for intense arousal or physical touch, the nerves begin responding to the slightest increase in blood movement. This is why some men feel their penis react even before they finish their morning routine. The system begins anticipating the rise in pressure. What you experience externally matches what's happening internally. The base of the penis may feel heavier, the shaft may become warmer, and sensitivity may increase. These changes mean the nerves are cooperating again, something essential for a predictable, reliable erection. Without nerve activation, even improved blood flow can feel incomplete. But once the nerves re-engage, the erection reflex becomes automatic. Another important effect is timing. Older men often describe a delay between desire and physical response. When the nerves aren't firing properly, that delay grows longer. But as the morning ingredient strengthens circulation day after day, the nerves relearn their role. The delay shortens. The response speeds up. The penis begins reacting more like it did decades ago, not because anything was forced, but because the system finally returns to its proper rhythm. And when blood flow, nerve activation, and chamber expansion all occur in sync, the result is unmistakable: a strong, steady erection that rises with minimal effort. If you stayed with me until the end of this video, it tells me something important: you are genuinely committed to improving your morning circulation and restoring a strong, dependable erection. Before you leave, make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you can continue learning how to support your body in the most natural and effective way. And since you reached the final minute, leave one word in the comments: awakening. This lets me know that you understand how important the first moments of the day are, and that you're ready to apply what you learned. If this video helped you understand your body more clearly, take a moment to like it. It supports the channel and helps other men find the guidance they've been searching for. And your journey doesn't stop here. The next video appearing on your screen continues exactly from this point and goes even deeper into restoring circulation and natural firmness. Watch it now and keep moving forward.